Well, you're addressing an endemic problem and a problem that's always been there. The only solution to this problem, that is getting the FBI to fully communicate with the CIA and vice versa, the only solution to that is some central director who has purview over both, okay? That's how it worked under Jimmy Carter.
Επικεφαλής της CIA επί Jimmy Carter ήταν ο ναύαρχος Turner. Τον βρήκαμε για να μάθουμε τι ακριβώς συμβαίνει.
We've been told by CIA people and by FBI people they were not talking to each other. They were not.
It's not that bad, but there was not adequate exchange of information.
Yeah.
There wasn't even adequate exchange of information inside the FBI. They weren't talking to each other. We have a very big intelligence bureaucracy in this country. We have 14 separate intelligence agencies collecting international intelligence. We spend some $38 billion a year on those 14 agencies. There's nobody in charge. There's no one person who can say, Agency 1, you must do this. Agency 12, you must do that.
The press tries to spin that somehow the CIA didn't tell the FBI, but that's not true. A closer look reveals that these guys were on watch lists, and it would have been so easy to find them. A rookie policeman who had been on the street for 10 minutes and had not had his coffee in the morning could have gone to a computer, Al-Hazmi and Almidar, and typed their names into a computer and found their address in San Diego.
Σύμφωνα με την πρακτική που ισχύει διεθνώς, όταν χαθεί η επαφή με ένα αεροπλάνο, η ΙΠΑ, η Υπηρεσία Πολιτικής Αεροπορίας, είναι υποχρεωμένη να ειδοποιήσει αμέσως την πολεμική αεροπορία. Αυτή με τη σειρά της στέλνει καταδιοκτικά να δουν τι συμβαίνει.
Each commercial jet that flies in the airs over this country has a flight plan. As soon as they deviate from that flight plan, there are procedures in place that require the FAA to immediately notify NORAD, and then NORAD responds by scrambling one of their jets, which are on strip alert, which means they can get in the air from anywhere from 6 to 12 minutes. They can be in the air and travel at 2-3 times the speed of sound and engage and investigate.
Με τις 4 πτήσεις που έπεσαν θύματα αεροπειρατείας, αυτή η διαδικασία περιέργως δεν τηρήθηκε.
Let me use Flight 11 as an example. American Airline Flight 11 departed Boston Logan Airport at 7:45 a.m. The last routine communication between ground control and the plane occurred at 8:13 a.m. Between 8:13 and 8:20, Flight 11 became unresponsive to ground control. Additionally, radar indicated that the plane had deviated from its assigned path of flight. Soon thereafter, transponder contact was lost.
Η πτήση 11 ήταν αυτή που έπεσε στον πρώτο πύργο. Μισή ώρα πριν την πρόσκρουση ήταν φανερό ότι είχε γίνει η αεροπειρατεία.
Two Flight 11 airline attendants had separately called American Airlines reporting a hijacking, and yet, according to NORAD's official timeline, NORAD was not contacted until 20 minutes later at 8:40 a.m.
The FAA says they informed NORAD immediately of the hijacked planes. NORAD is saying they were not informed till much later, like a half an hour later. Something on that order had elapsed before they were informed.
Τα ερωτήματα πολλαπλασιάζονται γιατί την 11η του Σεπτέμβρη το πρωί βρισκόταν σε εξέλιξη η τακτική εξαμηνιαία άσκηση αεράμινας.
Fighter jets were cocked, loaded, and carrying extra gas on board.
It's inexplicable to me because there was this Operation Vigilant Guardian, in place on the morning of September 11th, an annual readiness exercise that happened to take place on that day, which means that all the commanders and the NORAD was on, they were fully operational and carrying out exercises, so clearly they would have had jets.
Ακόμη και μετά την πρόσκρουση του πρώτου αεροπλάνου, οι καθυστερήσεις συνεχίστηκαν. Όταν τελικά στάλθηκαν μαχητικά, σηκώθηκαν από μακρινές αεροπορικές βάσεις.
For example, for the flight that hit the Pentagon, the jets were scrambled from Langley Air Force in Hampton, Virginia, rather than Andrews Air Force Base right outside D.C. As a result, Washington skies remain wholly unprotected on the morning of September 11th.
Why were they scrambled from Langley, which is CIA headquarters, over 120, 130 miles away, instead of Andrews, which is only 12 miles away?
At 9:41 a.m., 1 hour and 21 minutes after the first plane was hijacked confirmed by NORAD, Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. The fighter jets were still miles away. Why?
I think our air defense system was, again, targeted on an old threat, and that was, what are the Russians doing? What threat is external to us, rather than what threat could be internal? What threat could be coming at us?
Η ψυχροπολεμική νοοτροπία ίσως δεν εξηγεί τα πάντα. Τους μήνες πριν την 11η του Σεπτέμβρη είχαν αναχαιτιστεί 67 πτήσεις για ασήμαντη αφορμή.
In fact, between June 2000 and September 2001, fighter jets were scrambled 67 times.
And what really kind of bugs me more than anything, there was a professional golfer, Payne Stewart, who, before September 11th ever happened, got on a small chartered commercial jet and took off towards Chicago. And the plane suffered explosive decompression, a window blew out or something, and everybody died on the plane. But because the plane was on autopilot, it continued to fly. 21 minutes. It took 21 minutes for the air traffic controllers to get an F-16 fighter to come in behind and do a visual inspection and see what was going on. On September 11th, there were 4 commercial aircraft filled with hundreds of people on every radar screen in the eastern seaboard with their transponders off, not responding to anything, for 2 full hours. And not until everything was over did any fighter aircraft take to the air. I would love for somebody to explain to me how that can happen.
Όταν αργότερα ρωτήθηκε για τα γεγονότα εκείνης της ημέρας, ο πρόεδρος Μπούς δήλωσε ότι ήταν μια ενδιαφέρουσα μέρα. Πράγματι, ήταν ενδιαφέρουσα. Το πρωί της 11ης του Σεπτέμβρη, ο Αμερικανός πρόεδρος βρισκόταν σε περιοδεία στη Φλόριδα. Μετά το πρωινό τζόκιν ξεκίνησε να επισκεφθεί ένα σχολείο. Η πρώτη αεροπειρατεία ξεκίνησε στις 8 και 13 πρώτα λεπτά. Περίπου στις 8.30 ο Αμερικανός πρόεδρος μπήκε στο αυτοκίνητό του για το σχολείο. Σύμφωνα με την επίσημη εκδοχή, η πολεμική αεροπορία ειδοποιήθηκε για τις αεροπειρατείες στις 9 παρά 20 όταν ο Μπούς ήταν πια μέσα στο αυτοκίνητο. Τότε θα πρέπει να ειδοποιήθηκε και ο Αμερικανός πρόεδρος.
The chain of command operates in such a way that when the first airliner was known to be hijacked, the whole national command system goes into a very strict and rigid set of protocols for how it responds. And that includes notification of the White House.
By 8:40, the NORAD was informed by the FAA that there were 2 planes that had been hijacked, Flight 175 and Flight 11. And at that point, according to the FAA, a phone bridge was established with all the relevant agencies. So that means the CIA, the FBI, the Situation Room at the Pentagon. So 8:40, they knew 2 planes had been hijacked. The first plane hit around 8:46. So sometime, only a few minutes later.
Before the president walked into the classroom, NORAD had sufficient information that the plane that hit the World Trade Center was hijacked.
Εκείνη τη στιγμή, ο πρόεδρος Μπούς πρέπει να ήξερε όχι μόνο τις αεροπειρατείες, αλλά και ότι ένα από τα αεροπλάνα των αεροπειρατών είχε πέσει στο δίδυμο πύργο. Παρ' όλα αυτά, έχει δώσει μια τελείως διαφορετική εκδοχή για τα γεγονότα.
I thought it was an accident. I thought it was a pilot error. I thought that some foolish soul had gotten lost and made a terrible mistake.
I mean, his own story about the events is absolutely incongruous. It doesn't make sense, not possible. His official story was he was getting ready to begin to start speaking to the children when he saw a newscast of the first plane flying into the World Trade Center, and he said, "Oh, that's one really bad pilot."